What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's been a while since I said that. It's actually been like 2 months now. It's my buddy Corey, and I know my Subaru that I picked up hasn't been in the videos yet. I promise it's coming. It's sitting over here. Yes, right now it's snowing, and it is May 20th, but here's my Subaru. I promise a really cool video is coming for it, but it's not right now. Right now we are going to be doing a Grimspeed air oil separator on this daily that Corey just picked up. He's got a 320 horsepower blob. It's pretty cool. It's a wagon, but this is the daily he just picked up for pretty cheap. It's got a bunch of cool stuff done to it, but we're going to be doing one of the arguably most important mods to any Subaru, no matter what kind of power you're making. I think it's very crucial to have an air oil separator, and well, we'll film that real quick. It's not too bad of an install, but it does take just a little while getting everything routed right and everything. This one is just the one that screws on to the cap. It goes right here, so we'll be filming that today. Okay, so he's doing the front springs right now, but I'm gonna get to work on this air oil separator. First things first, just remove your factory oil fill cap. You won't need that anymore. This one, the way it works, so on my Subaru, it's actually routed into the exhaust and everything, and it's back there. This one's a lot more simple, and it just goes right onto the fill cap. So what it looks like is this. It's, get that to focus. It's just this. It's got 3 little nozzles here, and
that full atmospheric sounds good though.
Oh yeah. Okay, so after you get that on there, you're going to want to make sure that you have it in a position where your dipstick's still good.
Probably check that out. I think I've ever checked the oil in the car.
Oh god. I'm leaving that in there. Okay.
On my behalf, I've actually only owned this car for maybe a week.
Okay, so the first thing
good.
on your shirt, nice.
It's black.
While he's checking the oil.
I'd probably put a cord in.
Yeah, that's just a little low. So the first step is this hose right here needs to come off. I'll try and do this with one hand here.
Yeah.
This hose comes off, and you're going to want to cut about right here, and I'll explain further, but this kit gives you a bunch of extra hose and some connectors. So first step, we're going to remove this hose off of here. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get that with one hand, so just give me 1 second here. Get that hose off of there, and this hose right here, after you cut this and put the connector in and run the hose that the kit gives you, you're going to want to cut it to the right size, and you can route it under here or whatever you want to do to it. If you just want it to go across, whatever, but it gets routed to the first little whatever you want to call that.
What?
The like
nipple.
Nozzles, nipples.
It's a nipple. Like a tit, you know?
Yeah, like a tit.
The things you play with.
Yeah, pretty much. So it gets routed to, this hose gets routed to the first nipple here. Okay, so after you have this first hose cut, you're going to want to get, let me get it out here. So it gives you a bunch of these little connectors, and what you're going to want to do, this hose is really, really old and clapped. Honestly, I might see if this gives us enough and just run all new hose. If not, we might have to heat this up and just put the connectors on there, but I think it'll give us enough for just all new hose. So right now, just so I can retain the factory fitment of this, I'm just getting these fittings in here so I can basically, this just goes like this, and then we route this hose over to the first one. So I'm gonna try and just heat this up and get this in here right. Okay, so after this first hose is done here, put that back on. Pull that back on there, make sure it pops down. And then this hose, after you cut enough of it, goes onto the first little nozzle here. And sometimes this hose is just a little bit annoying, but and then it gives you a bunch of zip ties too that you can put on. Just make sure they don't slip off.
Oh, that is the crappiest part of this whole thing. Okay, I need an extra set of hands.
Alright. And he's actually doing the front lowering spring. These are the springs that came with my car. He's got the spring on there. Now we just need putting it. Okay, so as you can see, this hose goes to the first little nozzle here. We want to make sure we put zip ties on everything, just so we don't have to worry about them coming loose. So it gives you a bunch of little zip ties, so that's nice that it includes that part. Put it all the way on there. And snip the zip ties. Get it nice and flush. Alright, and then next up is, so where we took this hose off of, this nozzle right here, that is just, I don't know exactly what that's for, but our next step, the second nipple on the air oil separator needs hose routed to where we took this one off of. And so that's the next step, putting it on there, and you can route that basically to the same area. Just need to measure out how much you need, which it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it in this case. So I'm just gonna overguess it just a little bit. Okay, so I got the hose cut. I ended up needing to cut a little bit more off. I went a little too conservative on it. So what I'm gonna do here is this is just gonna go on here.
Don't listen to him, he's lying.
You need a little bit of wiggling, but it should be fine. There we go.
Hey bro, do you even full atmospheric blow off valve?
Yeah, he's running a full atmospheric blow off valve at the moment, and it's kind of stupid. But,
Lean
you know,
spike!
Yeah. And this one
okay,
is going
in all
to
fairness, so we don't get like a bunch of shit on like comments. I do have this one I'm putting back on it. It is off my blob because I put an STI one on there, so I still have one off the blob eye, so we're gonna.
But at the moment, we got this beautiful HKS one on there.
We're gonna put this one on so I can get a longer hose to run this and actually make it recirculating again.
So.
Because I don't want to blow EJ up.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, so this one is gonna go onto this second little nozzle here.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. And the first and second one are super easy. The third one's the only thing that takes a little time.
No!
What'd you do?
I popped my axle apart.
Oh no.
You got an axle later on?
I don't. Alright, put another zip tie on this one. Yeah. On both ends.
Oh, there it goes. Never mind, we good.
You good?
Yeah, don't let me forget, I gotta change this axle now.
Oh, what did you really screw it up that bad?
I took the whole boot off the outside.
Oh no. So what I'm hearing is don't trust Korey to do anything on your car.
The guy told me it did have a bad front axle.
Okay, so after you have this all routed, the third one's the hard one. This white, whatever it is right here, you have to unplug this hose here, and then this little nipple that it gives you right
Never mind, I found it.
here goes on that.
Oh, that sucks.
Goes in there, and then you route the new hose across underneath into the third one.
My alignment's gonna be screwed.
Okay, so like I said, this little white hose back here, this little hose clamp, it gets pulled off, and then we put in this little blocker and we route the hose to the third provision on the air oil separator. So just give me a few minutes here to get that all set up, and I'll catch up in just a sec. Again, down in here, it's getting kind of dark, you can't see it, but this hose, there's a little clamp I had to cut off, and this hose just pops off. And then what we're gonna do after I get this hose off is we just need to turn it, and it gets routed underneath. Like, you can find a spot to pull it through down here. Comes through down here, and then it gets routed to this third little provision here. All right, and another part I forgot to mention that's pretty important is you can cut this to, if this will focus, it is. Okay, so you can cut this to about right here, but this little nipple that comes with it goes onto this that you pulled that hose off of. Just slides on there, but you might want to cut it because you don't need quite all of that. So I'm going to do that real quick, slide that on there, then we can do the hose.
I'm a little sore.
Okay, so after you have that nipple on there, it's important, again, you want to zip tie it on. And then we're to the last few steps here. That's not too much more after this.
Whoa, wrong size.
Get that zip tie off of there, and you're left with just an open hose where you took that nipple off of, or you took the hose off of that little nipple. So you have to get this right here, and focus. So you get this little 90-degree bend, put that in the hose, you figure out how much hose you need to route it to the third provision, and we're almost done here. Okay, as you can see, I got it routed to the third provision, goes underneath the intercooler and connects down here. So air oil separator installed. He's almost done with the lowering springs, so all in all successful. I promise you guys, I promise the video on my Subaru is coming. I haven't done a video on it yet, and it's been like 2 months. Last video even on my channel was the Audi, but I promise that video is coming. So just here to Korey today. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Peace out, stay classy.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's